this is Laverne Zabielski, and we're getting ready to do our course 2 for our handmade books. We're going to do the Japanese binding stitch on a hardcover book. So you will be able then to end up with a lovely journal, or perhaps a scrapbook, or you could use a photo book. We're going to be focusing on making a journal. I want to just give you a little bit of an overview of what's going to happen. We have 3 sections to the course. This first part, I'm going to give you an overview of the materials that you need, and then we'll go into pasting the beautiful paper that you have onto the boards. Then we'll have another section on putting your end papers in and assembling your book, preparing it to sew. And then the last section will be the actual stitching up of the book. So I will prepare a PDF for you that lists all the supplies. I'll show them to you shortly, but you'll also have a list that you can refer to, and when you have them ready, you'll be able to proceed. So let's get started with the supplies you're going to need. So you're going to need your chipboard, and it's going to be cut into 2 pieces so that you have a gutter for your book. We'll get into that, but that creates a hinge so that your book can open and close. And you'll need some beautiful paper, either some Japanese paper, or maybe you'll make your own handmade paste paper, something that's durable, not too fragile. You'll need your pages, so journal cut pages, cut nice and even so that they'll fit into your book. You're also going to need some rice paper that's going to be used to reinforce your gutter. You'll need your clamps that we'll use to hold the cover and the pages together when we do our sewing. This is waxed linen. I like to use it. It's strong. I cannot break it myself. You could choose another thread, but that's the criteria. You cannot break it. You'll need a bookbinding needle, which means it has a large eye so that it can take my waxed linen thread, or whatever you happen to choose. It's going to have to be able to go through the needle. This is a brush, nice thick bristles that we're going to use to paint, to apply the paste to the board. This will be your bone folder that you use. This is called key stock. This will help us make our gutter very straight so our board is even. You will need your X-Acto knife so you can cut the paper precisely. You'll need a ruler for measuring. I recommend the pH neutral paste that you use. There are a few other kinds that you can use, but you cannot use Elmer's glue and some of the traditional school paste because they have too much water in them, and it'll make your book warp and ripple. It's nice to have a piece of plastic, an old piece of plastic from a container you never used, to pour your paste in. It's a good idea to have a rag handy that you can keep moist, because you're going to want to keep the glue off of your paste. That ends up being the defining factor of a really nice book. There's no glue on the cover, and it's kind of tricky. And you're also going to need some wax paper and a magazine that we're going to use, an old magazine, and we're going to use to protect our work surface from getting any glue on it that will then get on our book. And my drill bit for my needle and the holes that I'm going to put in my book is a 3/32. So that's what I recommend to use with the wax linen. If you end up choosing a different thread, you have to make sure that it's going to go through the hole that you're going to drill in your book. All right, so now you know the supplies that you need to gather, and when you have them, then you can go to the next video, and we'll focus on pasting the boards to your beautiful paper.